Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, The New Powerpuff Girls, and Archer. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Justin Cummings.
Hey guys.
And Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
Today, Justin, Michelle, and I will be discussing the recent big Steven Universe news on the In Too Deep quote-unquote 4-week special event coming in May. And we'll also be discussing associated spoilers, which came out a few months ago, or a month ago or so, that we've never discussed on a podcast before. On our this week's Steven Universe Roundtable, we discuss a Steven Universe topic every week here on the Overly Animated Podcast. And I guess we do that when there's not new episodes, which will finally be happening at some point. Yay. So you can check us out at overlyanimated.com and make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes. Search for the Overly Animated Podcast or on your favorite podcatcher in preparation for In Too Deep. And you can also subscribe to our specific Steven Universe iTunes feed. Find that link on overlyanimated.com. If you're concerned about spoilers, so there's 2 spoiler clips plus a 2-second thing. We, on this podcast, never talk about spoilers unless we warn you heavily. And this is a podcast where we will be talking about spoilers, but it won't be until I say so. So
Okay.
This is to you guys as well. To start with, we're not going to talk about these spoilers. We're just going to talk about the news and maybe the trailer, and then that'll be about 10 minutes. And then I'll say I'll put the time in the episode description as well when spoilers start. So if you do not want to know about these spoiler clips, which I feel like is no one except for Delaney, which is why she's not on this one. I feel like she's the only one that's managed to stay unspoiled. But yeah, so some pretty heavy spoilers for the first 2 episodes, it seems like, of In Too Deep coming up. But yeah, let's get right into this. So the big news is that in spite of them saying that new episodes would be coming in June, Cartoon Network quickly changed their mind because who knows why. And
Who knows why?
Who knows why. And we'll be having they've called this a string of 4 episodes coming up In Too Deep. I'm sure these are not the actual names of the episodes, but a Cartoon Network created name, so it's not very important probably. Although maybe it's the name of one of the episodes. I think we have the titles though, and it's not. But it will be airing Thursdays at 7 weekly, starting on Thursday, May 12th. So this is great, like on an all
I was gonna say, Are you excited about it airing weekly instead of Steven Bomb still?
Just on a podcasting level, weekly episodes. I mean, we can do multiple podcasts for one episode. Just because this is our main coverage show, so we're gonna start doing a recap podcast right after the episode like normal, and then we're gonna do an in-depth maybe listener feedback show on them. And this is just way better for fostering a community with on a selfish level. I very much like it as well. But weekly Steven Universe much better than Steven Bombs. We didn't talk about it before, but there's more debate about this. There's an AV Club article about arguing that Steven Bombs have benefited Cartoon Network, and then I wrote a rebuttal on overlyanimated.com talking about how no, they don't. So you can check those out on overlyanimated.com/blog. You'll find my article there, and you can find the associated AV Club article. But yeah, it seems like there's definitely been pressure on Cartoon Network to not do this, and I don't know what their thinking is. It's really impossible to tell. They seem to be making decisions just very quickly and without much thought. So it's kind of useless to speculate why they would do this. I hope this means that the Summer of Steven, which is still happening, that's another thing to note. Mm-hmm. It's still happening June to August. I hope that means that they'll be weekly in there. But from Matt Burnett's comments on Twitter, it seems like he's still expecting some sort of Steven bomb for the summer episodes, but we will see. At the very least, we have four in a row here, taking us May 12th, 19th, 26th, and June 2nd. No, it's not, because wait, is it? Yeah, it's 5. Okay, it's 5 episodes, not 4 episodes, right? And June 2nd, because the first week we get 2 episodes. Okay, it's confusing because this news was divvied up over multiple places, and they gave the announcement to EW, but it wasn't exclusive because they also just posted it to their YouTube. So I don't really understand. Anyway,
and then they also just before that they put it on Twitter,
and before that they
started blowing up everyone's phone with that.
Yeah, they put up a tweet saying "See you gems in May" with the Peridot crystal gem eyes from Log Date. But so there you go. There's all the news. 2 episodes on May 12th. So basically, this is a Steven bomb over the course of 4 weeks. This is very exciting. Are you guys also very excited for weekly Steven Universe episodes?
All new episodes are special events.
Been waiting for so long.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a 4-week special event. Like, okay, it's just the next. Episode. It's just the next 5 episodes. Like, what are we talking about here? You know. So I don't know how special it is, but yeah, this is very exciting, and we're definitely gonna bring you all the coverage on Overly Animated. Let's get into this trailer. That was the other thing that was released that was associated with this news. Again, okay, so here's what let's do brief thoughts on the trailer. Remember, we're in no spoiler territory here, and then when we go line by line through the trailer, it's because I mean the trailer has stuff from the spoilers, so you have to talk about the spoilers with the trailer, or we could just play dumb, but I think that's kind of disingenuous. So, Justin, what were your thoughts overall with this weird 30-second trailer for Into Deep?
I actually had to watch it a few times because the first time I saw it, I was in a very crowded place, but I had to watch it immediately. And just watching the trailer and then hearing it, it's very, very different. Because just watching it, it's like, oh, cool, Steven. Then when you hear it, it honestly has much more of like a horror movie vibe than anything we've ever seen. Like, it's kind of eerie.
Yeah.
Which makes me think these are going to be very, very heavy episodes, at least the first couple.
Yeah. What was you were digging the trailer overall though? I mean, it definitely stands out tone wise, but did it get you hyped for the return of Steven Universe?
I loved it. Yeah. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see all we saw in the trailer. It kind of felt like Dead Space, not Steven Universe, but it should be good.
Cool. Michelle, what are your thoughts?
I really liked this trailer. It made me super hyped for the upcoming episodes. I think it did a really good job kind of, I guess, incorporating the content that had leaked so many months ago. Because it wasn't like trying to hide Malachite or anything.
Yeah.
Which I think was like a smart move. It definitely, there was enough that, like, us as fans, we have enough to speculate on until we actually see the episodes, which I think is really important in terms of getting people, like, into Steven Universe. Because sometimes, like, the fandom can really, like, shut down where there isn't new content for months and months and months. So I think in terms of, like, engaging fandom, it did a really good job. I have a lot of questions. I mean, I know, Dylan, you tend to stay out of fandom-related stuff for your own reasons, but one of the things that's really been happening is, like, the Pearl singing the "Who, like, what we really are" line has been, like, memed like crazy on the internet, and it's ridiculous and wonderful. Yes.
on
all of the internet, on the Tumblrs, on the Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I have seen that. Yeah,
it's all over the MySpace.
It's really great. Like it. I agree with Justin. I really like the tone of it. It's definitely more like serious and foreboding than we've seen for, promos like this before. And even like the Crewniverse has been commenting, they're like, wow, that trailer, that was really something. I thought it was really well done. I'd like to give a high five to whoever made it.
See, I think probably a Cartoon Network person made it. It seems more
it
like
could have been an intern. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it might have been somebody around our age who made it.
By the way, you should follow us on MySpace. The way it worked on Korra is that the crew made the actual trailers, but all the promos were done by Nick. So I assume a similar thing. I don't think this counts as a trailer. I think this is just a promo. I guess this video is unlisted, so it kind of wasn't exclusive for EW, but at the same time, like the crew like linked to it, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
One more comment on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
One more comment on the actual trailer. Steven Universe is I don't want to say it's a bad habit, but it seems like a lot of their really, really good episodes, especially when they come back from a hiatus, don't have the most convincing titles. Like, I don't think anyone expected Lion 3 Straight to Video to be a Emmy-nominated episode, and I don't think a lot of people would have been excited if they just said, I can say an episode title, right? That's not a spoiler.
Let's lay off episode title.
The episode title is not exactly hype material, so having the trailer kind of brings you in, because otherwise I think people would not have been as excited if they just heard the episode title. That's fair.
That's true, I think. Though I think it might be more the episode descriptions they give than the titles themselves that really throw people off, because it's usually the ones that have like the most. Because I remember Line 3, it's like Steven has to get Lion from stop like laying on his face. It's like that's the most like underwhelming description they could have given it, and I think they definitely knew what they were doing. But then you do get episodes like Rising Tides, Crashing Skies, where we were like sure that was going to be like a Malachi episode, and then it was a Ronaldo episode, and it was like the biggest letdown ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this show cares too much about episode titles, but yeah, I guess that's true. Definitely, that episode title does not like beget how important the episode seems to be. The first one coming back. So yeah, I think the most prominent thing from the trailer is the creepy vibe and the Pearl singing, right? Which I don't have any conclusions to draw. I mean, I don't think if you're gonna grade this trailer. I think that's probably not a great trailer because it's kind of all over the place, but they try to tie it together with kind of this creepy feel and the song, and I think it's pretty interesting. I do somewhat like how it incorporates the the last few episodes we saw, kind of setting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think I think it's okay. I mean, I don't have strong feelings about the trailer. I kind of know what the weird stuff is that happens. In the thing from the spoilers, so I don't know, maybe it makes sense. It definitely reminds us that the cluster is a thing, which I think is needed for the trailer does. So yeah, let's get into trailer specifics, and here's where we're going to put up the spoiler warning. So if you have not yet seen the leaked clips, there's 2 leaked clips plus the 2-second clip from January that we're going to be talking about. So tune out now. Spoiler warning, final warning. Okay. So we're in spoiler territory here. Let's go through Justin, why don't you take us through the trailer shot by shot? It can accompany you've outlined the trailer for us. Thank you. And we can also play the video as we're watching. We have the YouTube videos up. I encourage you guys to get the YouTube video up now. And this is kind of a from the Spirit World classic, is going shot by shot through Korra trailers. That was our old podcast on covering Avatar and Korra. And here we're going to do this transfer this for Steven Universe and go literally every shot through this. I don't think it'll take very long.
Oh, snap.
There's not too many shots. But
I appreciate...
No pressure, just...
I appreciate, because I spent most of high school listening to the shot by shot, and now I'm leading it. So I appreciate the passing of the torch here. So thank you.
This is a big responsibility.
I know. I'm excited.
Okay.
So first off...
So, yeah.
Watch the trailer first. Pause this. Watch the trailer. Come back.
Well...
I'm assuming everyone... Well, you want to see it first and then go shot by
watch
shot.
The trailer, pull it up, and then watch it with us, pausing. And so you're going to say, I'm stopping at this many seconds on the YouTube video, and then tell us what's happening, and then we can comment, okay?
Sweet, I got this.
Cool.
All right, so I'm starting the trailer now.
Yeah.
I'm stopping at 1 second.
Okay. For trailers that move very fast, 1 second could mean a lot of things. But yeah, first we have a shot of Peridot's face, right? And
yes. So we start off just Peridot, the cluster. Now, does anyone know, is this an old shot? Because I couldn't tell.
No, I don't think it is.
All right, so if this is a new shot, then that must mean that the cluster is doing something. So it's the cluster. It's going to be a thing.
This isn't a surprise.
We knew
it was coming.
We need resolution for the cluster. This isn't...
We do. We need resolution for the entire barn arc, I guess, because they're still in that arc, aren't they?
I don't know if this
in a sense that they're still in the barn, yeah, because as we'll get into later, they definitely still have more things to do in the barn location.
Yes.
So I don't think it's over. I agree.
So, the cluster. So then stopping at, I guess,
2
seconds?
Yeah.
Somewhere into there. It was so fast. Oh my goodness.
No, it's only 30 seconds though.
Ground is shaking, so the cluster is doing something.
So Steven and Peridot are sitting on the ground.
And Steven and Peridot sitting on the ground, drills there.
Yeah.
Cluster does something. So I think it's important to note it's just Steven and Peridot sitting there. Is that worth noting?
What episode do we think this is from? That's another thing. So we're going to be tracking the 2 clips we have are from probably episodes 1 and 3. It seems like, right?
Wait, okay, hold on. I thought they were 1 and 2 actually.
So episode 1 is Super Watermelon Island. Episode 2 is Gem Drill. Episode 3 is Barn Mates.
Oh, I thought Gem Drill was before that.
Barn Mates was second, and I thought it was okay.
So the sourcing on this is a little bit sketchy because there's a European schedule that leaked, and I'm not entirely clear.
Oh, if they air out of order from us, and we have a week.
So presumably, here's the European leaked schedule. It's not. I don't know if it's really leaked. It's just their schedule. Super Watermelon Island 1, Gem Drill 2, Same Old World 3, Barn Mates 4. Okay, that's different.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So
the list I'm looking at has Barn Mates as number 3 and Same Old World as number 4.
But then, this cartoon network site put them up in a different order. I think that this has. I think that this has the correct schedule. I think Barn Mates is probably 3, and then
What is the name of 5?
Hit the Diamond is 5. It's
Diamond.
6, but that could be out of order. And Steven Floats as 6, which would presumably be the first episode of the Summer of Steven. But so that's interesting because the second clip is probably from episode 3 and not episode 2. Which is kind of throws everything off.
Right.
So what is this one from? Is this from Gem Drill? Probably.
I'd say Gem Drill, because of the gems and the drill.
By the gems and the drill, yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes things even more complicated if they air Super Watermelon Island and Gem Drill in 1/2 hour, we're just going to basically say everything from the last 40 episodes is solved. More or less.
Why is that?
Why do you say that?
Why?
Well, Super Watermelon Island. Are spoilers clear? We're in spoiler territory.
Yes, we're in spoiler territory.
Okay, Super Watermelon Island seems to resolve a lot of Malachite things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gem Drill will seemingly solve a lot of cluster things. So just everything we've built up is just
okay. I mean, I'm presuming that we don't deal with the drill in one episode. Like, I think this is going to be a continuing
that's
thing.
more of a season
But if we get back to Barn Mates 1 episode later, the pacing seems really, really weird.
It does seem weird. So Supermono Island is going to be like this big episode. Gem Drill could be low-key trying to deal with the drill. They're just there, and they don't actually like drill into the earth or anything to the cluster. And then Barn Mates just could be in like an associated quietish episode. So I don't know. We don't need to presume that Gem Drill is going to be huge just because the ground's shaking. I mean, we'll continue the trailer. I don't even remember.
Yes, we will.
Solution. So let's keep going. So this might be from Gem Drill, the ground shaking. Continue.
So then, pausing again. Yeah. Anywhere really between 3 and 5, it's an old clip, so it doesn't matter.
So we have an old clip between 3 and 5, correct? Okay, continue.
Right. Yeah, 3 ends at.
And then 7 is also an old clip. So getting to 8 seconds here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just quickly they recap, message received, and it could have been great. They're just like, yeah, Yellow Diamond's a thing. And then you get to 8 seconds. This is where it gets interesting. We see Malachite rising up on. That is the island from Island Adventure, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the island from Island Adventure.
So Malachite rises up, sees one of the Watermelon Stevens. At this point, I thought it'd be good to note that Malachite is still chained up. In the spoiler, she is not. So she does break at some point from those chains.
So this is a clip from before our spoiler clip starts, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
This is like, I'm assuming, right at the beginning of the episode. I'm guessing.
So our spoiler clip is probably either the very end of the episode or almost at the end.
I'm assuming there's like one shot after that clip.
There's like one shot after. I agree.
Right.
So this is from somewhere in the first 6 minutes. Okay, continue.
Right. So Malachite rises up. It's kind of what struck me as weird is the way the watermelon's looking at her, because it's almost like a demon summoning look.
Yeah.
It does
It looks like
creepy.
it's summoning her from the ocean.
Right.
Which might be a joke. We don't know the tone of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
It's like a flower crown, so I don't know.
I'm curious as to how Malachite actually pops up. And then we get the great line, I can't wait to tear you gems apart.
Cool. And we have a close-up of Malachite's face, yes.
Yeah, which is disturbing. And actually, this is important to note. Malachite is not blobby anymore. Malachite is very, very solid. So like looking at the face, because in Jailbreak, the face was very warped and shifting and all of that. While in this scene, it's very, very solid. So it seems Lapis and Jasper have fully fused at this point.
I would agree with that.
Interesting. Cool.
And I mean, that also makes sense from the other clips we've seen. But
Mm-hmm.
And I think that happened, this is pure speculation, I'm thinking that happened around Chilotide. Where they said, we are Malachite now, was when they finally just gave in.
That makes sense.
So we see Malachite thrashing, and then 14, I guess you can pause there.
Yeah.
We see Alexandrite form. This is not we know what Alexandrite looks like.
Yes, but
Like, we've seen it
presumably
Yeah, we've never seen them form before.
Yeah, this is our first time we've seen Alexandrite like form in like a battle situation and not.
Seems
dinner.
like they form very quickly.
Yes.
Like,
Like-
we need to do something now.
Like how Opal formed in
really
Lante.
quickly
Just
last
very
time.
fast, yeah.
Yes. So then I'd say pause at 17 because that's a good shot. Alexandrite's fighting Malachite.
Yes.
That's the coolest scene I've ever seen in my life. Like
So
that
it's,
is just
it's big. If we hadn't been spoiled, this would be like, what? Right?
Yeah,
Like-
because this is actually in the other clip at this
Well, I saw the
point.
trailer before I saw the spoiler, so I was like, what?
okay, you were like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is.
I
it's
was
pretty
jumping
crazy.
up and down in a gymnasium, actually.
I mean, was that related to the activity you were doing in the gym? Or
No, that was related purely to the trailer.
Okay.
And everyone was looking at me like I was an idiot.
Okay, I could see how that might happen. But yeah, this is pretty cool. What do we think of this? I think it's a good idea to show this in the trailer. Obviously, I mean, not obviously, it spoils it, but at the same time, it's like awesome, right? And it's one of like the biggest like showy things that the show has done. So it's like super trailer material.
Like a kaiju fight, basically.
It's
like
basically
a Godzilla
these
kind
are
of-
basically if there are kaiju's in this series, it is these two, I think.
Yes.
So,
It's also interesting to note that, like, because like Malachite says, I can't wait to tear you gems apart. So I think it's pretty obvious that Malachite has kind of become her own like fusion at this point, kind of the way like Souljalite became its own entity because the gems have been fused too long. I think that's basically what's happening here. Because at first it was really just Lapis like using Malachite to drag Jasper into the ocean. At this point, Malachite's just taking on Alexandrite, like regardless of the fact that it's the crystal gems.
couldn't that be Jasper talking though?
I feel like it is. I feel like there was a moment where Garnet said something about if they stay fused too long. Something about because like the way they were built, like because they were built on hate and anger and not love like Garnet is, it's gonna like really screw things up.
So
I agree. That's probably what's happening. Yeah, but at the same time, that could either be kind of both of them talking or just Jasper. I feel like that would fit with both characters. But yeah, I think that's probably what's happening because at the end of the spoiler clip, it's like it's time for you to be apart. So I think it would make sense with what we've seen in the show before. Like you fuse too long, you're like becoming one, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Continue,
so
continue
then-
past 17.
Carrying on, stop at. Is 18 and 18 is a good spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So stopping there, we see Steven in the pod, presumably. I'm assuming that's the drill. Can we assume that's what that is, or actually?
I don't know. It might be
that could be the. There's another.
The
I can
roaming
mention that, right?
eye.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
roaming eye.
It could be that.
So Steven's in a pod of Peridot. It's one of those two things, probably.
Right. So okay. So in the trailer, in the spoiler clip, we see this. In the second spoiler clip, we see this eye thing coming from Homeworld, right?
Mhm.
And you're speculating that they might be in that thing.
It's possible. I'm leaning more towards the drill because of the last scene of the trailer, which we'll get to in a second.
Okay,
12
let's continue
seconds.
this discussion. So one of them's talking. Do we have the sound off? Did they say anything? I don't remember.
Steven
Alright.
says something doesn't feel right
Yeah.
about this.
Okay. Something
So he's
doesn't
just
feel right.
worried.
Interesting. Yeah. Then now it gets into like the horror-y type thing. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
then
continue
it-
and we can kind of
Yeah.
sum it up as we get to the end.
Then it immediately cuts to the drill descending into the. So, like, pause at 19.
Yeah.
It immediately cuts to the drill descending. So,
Into the earth.
by the way that it cuts like that, you'd think it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like from a storytelling standpoint, but
Yeah.
knowing Cartoon Network, it's not.
So I would caution this. These are the types of things like Justin and I are fans of Survivor, and like in the Survivor next time on, you can't trust it. Like it's not telling a cohesive
I thought
story.
Ty was getting metabacted, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
Caleb,
you
and
can't- this trailer is not to be trusted. It's just take the shots individually. So here we see a drill, drilling into the earth, and it may or may not be what they are
yes.
in. Okay,
But there is a pod on the drill.
there.
so there is a
That
pod.
is interesting, right? So that's just-
Oh, maybe they attach the roaming eye to the drill. I think
so
that makes
I don't
a
know
lot
if that
of sense.
looks like the roaming eye. It was the roaming eye red, wasn't it?
It was red.
Then this is green. But that
Maybe
but
that was
those,
the lighting.
underground.
Who
but those are
knows?
related colors and it's dark, so I could see it, I guess. I don't know.
We will find out at
We'll
some
find
point.
out.
Okay, so next shot.
Okay, so the next shot,
It's a really good
I guess-
shot.
20, you see
Mhm.
Steven, like it flips. So, okay, I guess, 20, we see it flips to Steven's perspective, and he sees like the ground flying by as they descend. Then
No.
pausing it.
Those are waves. Those are
So,
definitely waves
okay.
in his eyes.
So at 2021 we have a close up of Steven's eyes, and if you look closely, I mean, you're conditioned to think that this is the drill gelling
It's
down, but
definitely
it's actually
the waves.
it's actually just beach waves. It looks like, yeah.
So it's
so
probably
this
right
is-
before
No way,
Malachite
the look
comes
on his
out.
face.
Look at
So-
those waves. Look at his eyes. Those are waves.
It's ground.
No
Let me
way.
look at this again.
Those are waves, man.
It's definitely waves on the shore. This is presumably from Watermelon Island then.
Yeah,
I don't know in what context he's looking horrified at the shore, but
I think it's because like Malachite's
telling
about
you,
to
it's
come
the
out of the
ground.
water, so like it's really
Yeah.
suspenseful
Why would
moment.
the waves move that fast?
it's not. It's definitely water. I'm telling you.
I'm watching this like over
It
and
is,
over.
Dustin, it is.
He's moving too fast. No.
Okay, we'll
I
we'll
mean, I
see
think it's
when
some
it
type of.
airs.
I think it's some type of like surreal effect. Like I don't think it's literally the waves reflecting in Steven's eyes. It's just like some effect of his perspective. Anyway, continue.
Yeah,
Okay, so pausing then at 21. We are once again underground.
True.
Okay, how do we know we're
yes,
underground?
we are.
Okay,
Well,
what we see is Steven
I think
and
okay.
Paradox.
What I'm trying to say is we should.
It
stop
looks like a
presuming.
tunnel.
So
Yeah, it
okay,
looks
so
like
what
a
we see
tunnel.
is at 21
Tunneling.
seconds, we see
But
Steven
they're
and Paradox
drilled.
hugging
In a pod.
inside of the pod that was on top of the drill.
Yes.
Yes.
On top of
As-
some large sphere-like object that we
Correct.
cannot presume is the cluster.
Well, okay, so you can. Oh, I see. Interesting. So
But
Oh,
it's
so
a
you're saying that's not
sphere.
the drill. You're saying it's
why
the
isn't that the
cluster.
drill? Though?
Oh.
I think it's the drill that's below them because as we saw in the shot where the drill was drilling down, there's this pod thing. Yeah.
Oh.
So I think
I
that
thought the
they're-
drill was like in
could
it.
be-
So the
could
drill
be
looks
either.
huge here.
Yeah, I think it could be in it, or that could be the sphere of the
Okay.
cluster thing.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
the drill was inside something, then yeah, you're right. Then we wouldn't be able to tell. But
Oh, okay, yeah. Pausing
It's like
again, like
50-50.
later in 21. Like
Yeah.
half a pause, half a second. You then see like dust come up. So it looks like that's the drill hitting something.
they're hitting like they drill into the ground. This is the continuation of the shot before probably, and dust comes up. Maybe
Mhm.
they hit the cluster. Maybe they didn't. It's you and Peridot are scared.
Yes.
So looking at
Very
this
scary.
pod closer, can we determine what the pod is that's on top?
There's
of the
like
drill?
spider legs on it.
Yeah, I think it was this.
Yeah.
Isn't this just a component of the original drill or no?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think-
Yeah,
I-
from that scene in Too Far, there's a control panel at least, and it makes sense they would have finished enclosing it.
Yeah, I think that this is just part of the drill, and I don't think it works time wise with the eye because that's probably from the episode after this. If this is from
That's a
Gem
good
Drill.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So let's
Okay.
continue.
All right, so then like dust, and then it turns into like a burst of light,
22.
and then 20. Is it 22? Is it 23?
Yeah, 22, I think.
22.
Yes,
There's a
22.
shot
Yeah,
of
22.
Steven looking
22.
horrified. Yeah.
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 It looks like he's like waking up from like
Yeah,
a
it.
vision or something.
This is what I kind of said, that it seemingly looks like him waking up in a cold sweat, but
Yeah.
there's also like a glow of blue, which makes me think lapis. But there's also the background looks
That's
spacey.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a flash at the end, but that's unrelated to the shot, so we should know. that.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
that's just
from
the
the
logo.
So it's like it's like a blue hue, and he's like, I
Yeah.
agree. It looks like he's waking up from a cold sweat. So what could this be from?
Oh, it's probably, now that I think about it, the last time he talked to Lapis was in a dream. He's probably trying to do it again.
So when would this be chronologically? Do you think it'd be like the beginning?
Either
of the episode?
the first second of Super Watermelon Island,
Yeah.
or maybe Barnmates.
Yeah, I think it's
Like
possible.
after their.
I'm gonna say it's like right after the drill hits the cluster. Just the way Steven's angled in the shot, it's like he's like looking down in the corner, which
then
would
where's
be
Paradox?
where the cluster would be prospectively if they were coming from the top, drilling down to the center of the Earth or wherever. So that's my guess.
But where's Peridot?
She's like next to him, but it's a close up of him.
She
so you only
could be
see
next
him.
to him out of shot.
Yeah.
So there, he's
Yeah.
clutching. He's clutching something. I'm not sure what that is that he's clutching. It's like in the bottom left corner.
His
Or is that
body?
his
I don't
shirt?
know.
It's him.
Yeah, I think it's his shirt.
Yeah.
It's on the wrong side to be his heart. So
It's
I don't know.
it's impossible to tell what's happening here. Yeah.
There
could
is something
speculate.
like behind his head. We need to note that, like some reddish,
Yeah, there's some
pinkish,
red
really.
backlight
There's
or
a reddish
something.
thing. Yeah, I think this is. It could be from underground. I'm not sure. Okay, let's continue. So then we have Steven Universe.
So then, Steven Universe in Too Deep, a 4-week special event, Thursday, May 12th at 7, only on Cartoon Network.
Okay, but then 28 to 30 is.
Yeah, 28 to 30 is my favorite scene because we see Steven in, again, a pod.
Descending.
Says, "What's that sound?" And a hand wraps around from the back and grabs the glass.
So it's this red hand, right?
Yeah.
well, It looks
It's,
red,
yeah, you can't
Red
tell.
tinge.
but everything
Yeah.
outside it looks like they're in the core of the Earth, like
That's-
very magma-y.
This is probably Peridot's hand, right?
What? I don't know about that.
No.
It looks almost human, which is what's throwing me off.
Looks
Oh, does Peridot
human
have
or, like-
fingers? Or no, I don't even know.
Hold on,
about
I will-
that.
She
Peridot.
does, but that's a very like shapely, human-y hand.
So okay, my general point is I think something green would look red here, just because of the magma and stuff.
Part of me feels that it's one of like the gem mutant things.
Okay, so it could be a gem.
That-
yeah. Oh, that's
yeah.
probably what it is. Yeah.
It looks
I
too
mean,
small.
Peridot's not in
Yeah.
shot, so Peridot could be sitting next to Steven and Steven's talking to her, or Steven could be talking to himself. It's kind of not clear. Or
All right,
this,
I found Peridot's hand. Her fingers are not that articulated. They are very stubby.
They're more stubby. Yeah,
Okay,
and this one's very shapely.
I retract then. So this is probably a gem mutant hand, or maybe it's some character. But this is, since we're in magma, we're presumably inside the Earth, inside like the core. Maybe this is the
Which is
cluster.
where they
Maybe
were
we're
buried.
going to the cluster. This is probably after the drill got to the bottom.
This made me think Dead Space. Just this shot right here.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good shot. So we're presuming, I think, that most of this trailer happens in the second half of our May 12th two-parter in Gem Drill, but that's just based on the title.
Right.
And then, so were there any shots in this from Barnmates that were obvious? Did we? I don't remember if we said.
It all
There's-
looked either flashback, Watermelon
Yeah.
Island, or presumed gem drill.
Yeah, I don't see any. I see most stuff just from Watermelon Island or Gem Drill. I agree. Super Watermelon Island. Yeah. So that's interesting. So kind of now that we went through it, it seems more straightforward than I initially thought. But we haven't talked about if you only knew what we really are. So
Yeah, and the whole time it starts out. It starts with the line, and if you only knew what we really are. And it wouldn't have been that weird if they kept going, but then they just repeat what we really are like 3 times.
So what is this?
Are we gonna find out like some huge, massive backstory about the gems? Because there's
Well,
no
okay.
way they can cram that in.
So what it might refer to is one thing, but what is this from? Like, is this a sound bite from the show?
Oh, it's from the extended
The
theme.
extended opening, yeah.
Okay, it's just from
You know,
the
when she's
extended
hanging up the
opening.
laundry and little Steven sitting there.
So it's just like it's literally just a distorted version of the extended opening.
Yes.
Okay.
Or they'll play it in the show, finally. One of the two.
Okay, so that's interesting. So this is not new content. I think so then it could just be nothing. Like they very easily could just repurpose the extended intro and distort it and like echo
The fact
it.
they
and-
repeated that part 3 times instead of continuing
Yeah, I
really
mean-
makes me think.
I mean,
Yeah, I think it's definitely supposed to set up something about the gems. Like that seems pretty indisputable at this point. What
Well,
that
okay,
would be,
so-
we don't know.
So, okay. Let's remember, Cartoon Network's probably making this, and it may have, like, this may just mean nothing. Like, well, I think that the default shouldn't be to assume that this is related to what we are going to see. I also think Into Deep, like the title of this, may mean nothing. Like, it could just be created by Cartoon Network. I think that this promo is created by Cartoon Network. I think the voiceover is created by Cartoon Network. It's possible that they play the extended intro like in the episode, but considering that it's something that we've already had and not new content would lead me to believe that it's just like nothing.
Actually, I think the name makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because it's either
Well,
deep in
deep
the
in the
ocean
ground,
or
yeah.
deep in the ground,
Right.
which both that we're doing. So honestly, the name actually works.
I mean,
really,
I'm-
really well.
like I assume it's related to the content, but it could just not be created by the crew, right? So, so that's interesting.
True.
I mean, is
Fair
there-
enough.
So, like, if the what we really are is a thing, you guys think it's like related to the gems? Like, I just don't see how that ties
Yeah.
into the content of the episodes that we're talking about here.
Well, again, we've only seen presumably content from the first 3/5 of this event. And since we've had episodes like The Answer, where it's just like backstory after backstory, we can't write off 2 episodes as not having that wealth of content.
True. So yeah, we know nothing about Same Old World or Hit the Diamond. Hit the Diamond seems like it would be
Yeah.
something about the gems. So you're right. It could be. I think that's possible. I think that I would caution you guys in the audience to like not draw conclusions from non-new content, because it could really just be repurposed by the person who made the trailer. And I think it's cool. Like, I think it's a cool effect, but at the same time, like, I just don't see why.
Or
this
they've
is
been
anything.
planning this since last year's Comic-Con, and we're just now learning. Like they had this whole master plan.
If they do this song like in the show, right, then that's another thing. It's just it might not happen, right? Like it could just not be content from an episode.
I feel like the only logical way that what we really are would tie into these 4 upcoming episodes is if it gets into more information about gem fusion, and what the cluster is, and how gems interact under like different circumstances, and like just learning more about like their autonomy and anatomy, which could be like the tie-in. But I think that's the most plausible at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting. I think that's kind of just an unknown because we basically have nothing. All we have to go on is what we know here, and there's no obvious fit from this stuff. So let's move into now the 2 spoiler clips. We've already talked about a lot of them, but let's talk about a new content. Let's turn it over to Michelle, who has outlined these for us. Thank you, Michelle. And focus. Let's run through them, not as meticulously as the shot by shot thing. Kind of focusing on things we haven't discussed so far from the trailer.
Okay, well, Super Watermelon Island clip opens with Malachite and Alexanderite fighting next to the island in Island Adventure.
So how do we know that this is the island from Island Adventure?
It's like the only island location we've seen in the show so far. And as we get later in the clip, we're gonna see like more of those like cave geodes that were definitely very present in Island Adventure.
Okay.
So it seems pretty plausible. We then see like one of the Watermelon Stevens watching the fight, and he runs into a cave, and there's like this whole tribe of Watermelon Stevens. So we can assume that when Steven told them to go away and think about what they did, and they disappear into the ocean, this is like the place they decided to like colonize, basically.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is like you see like offspring of the watermelon, so I guess they can reproduce. They also have like dog watermelons, which is interesting. I mean, clearly like that's like a show thing. There's like, oh yeah, let's put some dog watermelons in there. Not really going to get into like how that is possible reproductively, but it was interesting. There's whole like families. And the one Steven Watermelon that goes and he like has this like rousing speech, presumably about why they should fight Malachite. And this like old like tribal like elders like, oh, this is a good idea, we should do it. And so they all start putting on like war paint and like getting like spears and stuff, getting ready to fight. Then it cuts back to
let's pause to talk about the watermelons. And also later we get the female watermelon warrior like leaving.
Yeah,
like,
and like the only reason you know to the husband is because the husband has like a tie on, and it's like, okay,
so
that was beautiful. Even with watermelons, Steven Universe subverts gender norms.
That was the most Steven Universe thing I've ever seen in my life. Like that's like really okay. So let's talk about this. So what do we think of the concept of bringing the Watermelon Stevens back for this? It's such a weird idea, like to resolve this Watermelon Stevens plot thread from a super unimportant episode and bring it back for like kind of this crucial plot episode.
I really like it. I think if we had to see them, I think this is one of the most interesting ways to bring them back because it gives them something to do that actually affects like the plot, you know?
I think that's a great point. Like we really just shouldn't be spending like these one-offs doing stuff like we did in season 1. So if you're going to incorporate content like you did from season 1 here, I think putting it in plot moments is probably a good idea. It is kind of jarring though to just see this like super silly concept of the Watermelon Stevens with this like super important fan anticipated plot episode.
I'm guessing they get a more like understandable introduction because we agree this is probably later on in the episode, so their presence on the island is probably really well established by that point, so it's not as jarring.
I mean I think it's not out of the realm of possibility that the clip is from the middle of the episode. It's certainly not from the beginning. I think the favorite is that it be from the very end, but could be from the middle. I wonder what we're doing for the whole episode. I guess we could be checking in on the gems and Steven just like at home base and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Okay, let's continue for the Malachite part.
So it cuts back to Malachite and Alexandrite fighting. And I think this is the part in the trailer Justin's talking about where Malachite like throws Alexandrite against the island. And Malachite's like, you were right. There really is something more to this fusion thing. It's not just a cheap trick. Which sounds like a very Jasper-y kind of thing to say. So if we want to go with the idea that they're not quite like Malachite isn't quite her own entity yet, I think there's definitely an argument for that there, because this is not something Lapis would say. Obviously, this is totally from Jasper's perspective.
Yeah, does seem like Jasper's talking. Yeah.
And she goes on, "You've really shown me a whole new world of possibilities. Allow me to thank you." And then she uses Lapis's water hands to start like crushing Alexandrite in the water. Sorry, but there's only room for one abomination on this measly planet. And then the Watermelon tribe starts to attack Malachite.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that, or do you want to keep going?
I think it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't remember the original Watermelon Island. Did they like obey Steven? Like,
to an extent, and then they started fighting, and then Baby Melon sacrificed himself to save them all.
Do we even see Steven in this clip?
No,
we have yet to see. We don't know where Steven is.
Gems, except for Alexandria, we don't see Steven or Peridot. We just see.
Okay, it's all coming together.
And so Alexandrite's not in the drill.
So this is happening while Steven and Peridot are drilling down. Yeah.
Is everything happening at once?
That's why the first two episodes are going to air the same day, I bet.
Well, I mean, okay, again, let's not read into Cartoon Network's. Okay, it's they're just putting two episodes together, but yeah, they could be happening at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really
good. Or were they meant to air together?
We would not know by the fact that they are airing together. Like, it's irrelevant, right? So,
the last time they aired two episodes together was Jailbreak and The Return. I'm just saying.
That is true. They have aired stuff together. Yeah.
I think it's a good theory, regardless, that they're happening at the same time. These two episodes. Yeah,
I mean, we have on one hand we have 3/5 of our main cast in one place and 2/5 of our main cast in the other place. Like, you put them together, and it's fairly obvious conclusion to draw. Okay, let's continue.
Okay, so Watermelon's attacking. Alexandrite breaks free while Malachite's fighting the Watermelons. Malachite says, this is in regards to the Watermelons. "What is this? You think you can hold me down? Nobody can, not anymore." And again, that sounds like Lapis, like people like holding her down. Nobody can do it. So it's like, I feel like the two gems are like melting together, but it hasn't reached a point where they're succinctly one being yet. But they're definitely like losing their grip, which is why Malachite was able to like maybe get out of the ocean. You know, maybe Lapis is just a lot weaker at this point. Let's see. So Alexandrite starts fighting Malachite hardcore. And one of the interesting things I noticed was that Alexandrite kind of goes through all the separate gem fusion weapons. We see Opal's bow at the end. We see Soldulite's hammer thing, and Sardonyx's hammer thing, and Soldulite's like fist whip thing too, which I thought was interesting. Just would we consider the bow at the end like a revamped Opal bow? Would that be Alexandrite's weapon, or is that just Opal's bow? Because I haven't seen her use like a special Alexandrite weapon, if you see what I mean here. Because we've seen Sardonyx and Soldulite's. She uses both of them, but is the bow not Opal's bow and maybe Alexandrite's bow, or is it just like another version of Opal's bow? Because if not, what would Alexandrite's weapon be?
I feel like Alexandrite's would be all three. And I based that purely off
Rule of Cool.
Well, not only that, there's Dylan. You are going to hate me, but I'm basing this off Power Rangers Ninja Storm, and this does make sense.
Correct.
Whenever they start that you do hate me. Okay, great.
Correct.
Basically, there were 3 different Megazords, and so they would combine like their different weapons at different points. But when all 3 combined, they combined all 3 weapons. So I'm going off that idea that if a fusion weapon is both, then a triple fusion will be all 3.
Okay,
in that case, yeah, I just wonder why Alexandrite was using the other gem fusion weapons first, but maybe it just seemed more convenient for like the fight itself. Who knows? All right, then after that, Alexandra says, "You two should spend some time apart," and she launches an arrow. There's a beautiful animation sequence of like the 3 gems in the arrow beam forming one big arrow and poofing Malachite in the air.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Pretty exciting clip.
How's she able to do that?
lots of power, I guess.
Is that a thing? You can just unfuse gems?
I mean, Garnet like squeezed Peridot into a poof gem, you know. So maybe it doesn't take that much. You just need to hit like the sweet spot.
I found something interesting. According to the Steven Universe Guide to the Crystal Gems, which I happen to keep with me, Alexandrite's weapon is all of them.
What? Okay. Oh, so she doesn't combine them. She just literally uses all of them?
Yep. That's how it sounds.
Okay. Well, then that makes complete sense. My questions are answered. That's cool.
Guide to the Crystal Gems, available now.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you have that on you. That's a very useful tool. Yeah, so I don't know about them splitting them apart. So yeah, is the episode just going to end on them unfusing? Like, I think that's interesting.
It honestly might. Like, I don't know.
At the same time, we have to deal with Jasper.
I feel like that's maybe what Barnmates is going to be about.
But if Barnmates is one episode after that, unless the 2 occur simultaneously, and then Barnmates is after both finish.
That's what I think.
We could, during the gem drill episode, we could cut to them dealing with Jasper or something, right? Also happening at the same time. So I think that's interesting to think about. I mean, I think what are we going to do with Jasper? We could speculate on that, but we're going to see it soon. So let's not. Let's move to the Barnmates clip.
Okay, so clip opens with Peridot's cassette recorder smashed, and Lapis is looking really irritated, and Steven's saying, "Now it's too late, and she's never coming back again." And then Peridot is screaming in the distance, and she runs past them, and Steven's like, "Oh, she's coming back again." Which, like, you know, just from that, I can conclude, like, Lapis is not getting along with Peridot, and either smashed her cassette recorder, or Peridot smashed it out of frustration for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a very, like, Lapis Peridot developing some better form of relationship point episode thing.
So, somewhere between the end of the Watermelon Island and here, we're getting Lapis into the mix, right? So.
Yeah, for sure. We don't know what Jasper's doing. But we definitely
also it's not like we're clear on how Lapis gets there, why she's cooperating with them. You know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. Because Lapis, I mean, I don't know why Lapis suddenly wants to be a crystal gem or like be around them.
She probably doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't look happy at all. This whole clip, she just does not look happy. So maybe she wants to leave.
Lapis is very much not pleased this whole clip. Yeah.
Peridot runs past saying, "They're here!" The clouds open to reveal flying homeworld, roaming eye. I noted it looks similar to the red eye from Laser Light Cannon. And the pod kind of scans this beam over Lapis and Steven, so they run into the barn. Peridot, Lapis, and Steven are hiding in the barn. Steven says, "What is that thing?" Peridot says, "It's a roaming eye, a homeworld tracking vessel. I told you I'm public enemy number 1. Then the roaming eye finds them in the barn. They run out. Peridot says, "This is it, Steven. They're going to wipe my precious grin off the face of the planet."
Her precious
that's so self-aware.
It's Peridot.
That's a great line. Yeah.
And Steven says, "Stay behind me. I'll protect you." And Lapis just like walks forward, super cool and collected. And she like kind of eyes Peridot for a second before she conjures up a water hand and just like bats the roaming eye into the ground. And Peridot says, "Holy smokes!" And the clip ends.
Peridot says, "With love in her eyes," say the shippers, right? Yeah.
More like awestruck amazement, but you could interpret it.
Yeah. So what do we think of this clip?
Go Lapis.
I mean, there's a lot. I don't know. This is interesting. Like, we need the full context here.
Something happened to smash Peridot's recorder, and part of me thinks it was Lapis who did it.
Yeah, part of me thinks it is Lapis who did it.
Peridot plays back a clip of her like shipping on Camp Pining Heights to try to get Lapis into it, and then she's not about that. She's not a shipper, so she smashes it.
My thought is she plays back an apology like she did for Amethyst, but it doesn't work this time. She just smashes it.
Oh, interesting.
Good idea. I think that would definitely show more Peridot like growing in terms of like trying to do better
And then let's bring into the fold that we also have this 2-second clip the Cartoon Network inexplicably just randomly aired of
It's so cute.
Peridot
Yes, that
giving
was
Lapis a
crazy.
gift. So I think it would make sense.
She just
to,
walks forward so
and she
awkwardly.
closer, and Lapis is just not having it at all.
I think it would make sense to connect this to the end of the Barnmates clip, like as thank you to dealing with the pod and like saving me, or just as a rec. We at the time we thought it was just like general, like please forgive me for like capturing you, right? But
What if the present is the cassette recorder, and she gave it to Lapis because she's like, this really helped me when I was like adapting to the
interesting.
Earth.
Oh, and then she
and Lapis
breaks
is like,
it.
no way. She like
so
smashes
it could be from the
like,
beginning.
So then
I think-
Peridot runs away, and then she comes back with it all
Exactly.
starting
Yeah,
to fall
I think
together.
It's the recorder.
I think it could be the beginning. It could be before or after the clip. That's interesting.
But it's the exact. They're standing in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
Are
Yeah,
you
Gross
it definitely seems like it's from this episode. How much Lapidot vibes are we getting from the present giving and the Barnmates clip?
It's so
as much Lapida as like Amadot during that.
Oh,
Too far.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of Amadot in come on now.
That was for like one sitting thing. This is like a whole episode, so I don't know. I feel
I think
like
people are predisposed to thinking that Lapidot's like a thing, but until Barnmates starts, it will have never been a thing in the show. So we're working from
I'm
zero.
feeling some Stapis Last Universe on this one. I don't know
oh my
about you guys.
god.
No. So I like that you remembered the ship name, though. So there you go. Okay, now that we've gone through them, which of the first 3 episodes are you most looking forward to? Because we seem to have significant content from each of Super Watermelon Island, Gem Drill, and Barnmates.
Mm-hmm.
There is, how Cartoon Network will do like one single line describing an episode?
Yes.
They have those up for the first 3 episodes.
Oh, they do. Can you read them? I haven't seen them.
Yes, that might help. Hold on, my browser is wanting to hate me right now. Hold on, I'm just gonna go back. It's mostly just stuff we know. I think I've actually even heard the Barnmates one before. Super Watermelon Island is Steven finds out what happened to all the watermelon Stevens he created.
Yeah, that one was up before, yeah.
Yeah, Gem Drill is probably the most telling.
Okay.
Because that one, hold on, I'm actually waiting for it to load so I can...
You're trying to
What is it, Justin?
It's loading! Hold on, my browser.
Where are these
It's
from?
telling me, guys.
Where are you
This
getting
is...
these from?
At the moment, I'm reading them off the wiki, however, they link to the website. So they are from the Cartoon Network website.
Okay.
Alright, Steven takes a journey deep underground.
We might have also seen that one, though.
So that one's Gem Drill. So that seems definitely like they're going to the cluster. And then Barnmates is Steven helps 2 friends get along at the barn.
Okay, I actually think
Two
we had
friends.
we actually had all of those already, but okay.
So, fun.
Yeah, there you go. That I think that would go along with what we're saying. So I'd say I'm most looking forward to Gem Drill, I think.
Yeah.
That being said, Lapis as a character in Barnmates, of course, is very big. What about you, Michelle?
Probably Gem Drill 2, just because that's the one we've seen the least content for and have the most to speculate about. Otherwise, it probably would have been Watermelon Island if I didn't have all this lovely content to look at now.
Lovely content, yeah. So you're also in on Gem Drill, Justin?
I am, but I am most interested to see how Super Watermelon Island and Gem Drill play off of each other, if they do at all.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Interested if they're concurrent or not. Yeah, definitely. And
Because that would be some really good storytelling.
How Gem Drill resolves the cluster, if it does resolve the cluster at all, and then where we're going in the show from there. Very, very good stuff. We're going to get into all of that in Too Deep. The event.
The 4-week special event.
The event, which is not really an event, airing starting on May 12th, and we will cover it all on the Overly Animated podcast. Last comments on any of this stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff, but anything immediate? Yeah. I mean, we could start speculating on Jasper and Peridot.
Yeah, that would be my one big question.
What's going on with Jasper?
First-
We'll see. But for now, we're going to end this. Let us know your comments. I would say, I don't know, if you're going to comment on YouTube or on overlyanimated.com or with the Tumblr ask, try to put like a spoiler warning with your comments, because remember the beginning of this podcast was spoiler free, so in case people are looking in the comments and then see it. But thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be back next week with another roundtable. Not sure what we'll discuss that would be our last roundtable before In Too Deep. So maybe just more speculation because that's the
Yeah.
exciting thing happening. So we'll talk about that. I'm Dylan Nyson. That's Justin Cummings and Michelle Anderer. You can find everything at overlyanimated.com. This ad-free podcast is brought to you by our patrons. Thank you very much. And you can subscribe. You can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to you, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, and Catherine, aka Hannah, if you're much gonna see Beach Exchange, Nathan Fillion, Buzz Lightyear, Mailman, Rachel Rose, Jenny Bravo, Brian, and Cookie Cat. Coming up on the Overly Animated podcast, this is on Friday actually, so the next podcast will be putting this up tomorrow. We're recording this on Thursday. Next podcast will be our weekly Miraculous Ladybug discussion, and then back to we'll see what we discuss in the roundtable. Looking forward to talking In Too Deep starting on May 12th on the podcast. Definitely subscribe and get ready for that. Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.